welcome back to the channel. I am Lindy, aka Paleobarbie. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. I hope you'll stick around and hit that like and subscribe before you go. This is going to be a recipe video. I was kind of wanting some kind of comfort food, and I want to make sure it was carnivore. So let's get the recipe started. All right, guys. I was wanting something a little different for dinner tonight, so I am making kind of an Alfredo lasagna without the noodles, which you could use deli meat and do the carnivore lasagna that way doing this recipe, but I didn't have any, so I'm going ahead with what I've got. I'm trying to use things I have right now because the budget is really tight, and we are going with what we got, like I said. So we're going to do sort of, like I said, a lasagna without the noodles, carnivore style. If you are not doing dairy, this is not the recipe for you. But this is a good carnivore and keto recipe if you want some comfort food. And I really kind of need some comfort food tonight. So we are going to go with 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm using this grass-fed ground beef from Aldi. 1 thing of pork sausage, or you could use ground pork if you have that. I've got a little bit of shredded mozzarella to use up, but plus I'm going to slice this up and use it as well. But you could just use shredded mozzarella. Shredding yourself is always best, but I'm going to use this up because, like I said, we're using what we got. A little bit of ricotta cheese. I'm probably going to use about 2 cups. I'm just going to cover, you know, to make sure we have a layer of it. I will show you guys when I get to that step. I am also going to be making, like I said, an Alfredo sauce. I've always done Alfredo, kind of eyeballing it. There are lots of recipes for carnivore Alfredo, and most Alfredos are carnivore anyway, unless you add some sort of flour. But heavy whipping cream, about 4 ounces of this cream cheese, some Parmesan cheese, butter. I'm only gonna use about half of this. Garlic, white pepper, and salt for my seasonings for both. And yeah, so let's just get started. We need to brown all this meat up, and then we will show you guys what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put some tallow into my pan and get that beef and pork sausage cooking. All right, while this is browning, I am going to go ahead and start my Alfredo sauce. I've got 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, about a half a cup of the Parmesan cheese, a half stick of butter, my white pepper, salt, and garlic. And I'm gonna cut this in half and put that in there, and I'm just going to put it on low and let it be melting and stir it every now and then it'll be ready to go when we are ready to layer. So let me get my cream cheese in there. All right, so this meat is browned. This would be where if you want to drain your grease, you can. I do not, because I actually like the way it tastes, and also I'm trying to get more fat in, so it's up to you whether you want to drain it or not. But I am going to go ahead and add in 2 cups of the ricotta, and then I will show you what we're doing next. All right, now we're gonna just mix this all together. All right, so this is all mixed. I'm going to remove half of this meat mixture, and then I'll put it back in a few minutes, but I will show you what we're gonna do next. All right, half is out. I'm going to layer the round mozzarella pieces, or whatever we're gonna call them, on this. And then we're gonna put another layer of ground beef. Well, actually, we'll put a layer of the mozzarella. Then we're going to put some Alfredo, then the ground beef, then some more of everything. Just keep on layering like you would a lasagna. The words are hard. Like you would a lasagna. So let's go ahead and get those mozzarella pieces on here. All right, those are on there. I'm just going to leave this alone. I've turned the heat off, and I'm going to finish up this sauce, and then we will start the next layer. All right, you just want to keep stirring until everything comes together, and then I like to take it off the heat, and it makes it thicken up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Also, I've got my oven preheated at 350. All right, so this is thicker now. So I'm going to go ahead and do a layer of that on here. All right, that's on there. And I also decided to add a little more Parmesan cheese, because if you're going to go for the dairy, you might as well go for it, right? So that's on there. Now I'm going to do another layer of ground beef. All right, got that on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the sauce and not the mozzarella first, because I want the other mozzarella to be on top, and then a little bit more parm as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do some more sauce. All right, we got that on there. I saved a little bit of it because I'm going to make a carnivore pizza later this weekend, and I don't want to make Alfredo sauce again, which this was plenty, so this worked out good. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Parmesan and the rest of the mozzarella. All right, this is going in my oven for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your oven. We just want to get this really brown and bubbly, like you would a lasagna. So you know what that looks like. You can judge by your own oven, but I'm going to put it in there and be checking it. But I will show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, this is done. Ended up doing about 20 minutes, and then I turned it on broil just to give it a little bit more brownness on top. And we're gonna let this sit for a good 10 or 15 minutes before we even serve it. And I am excited, and I will show you guys what it looks like all served up. All right, I'm waiting on my husband to get back with my mother-in-law, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a little taste test before everybody gets here instead of serving it up for you. Let me get a good bite here. All right, so here we go. Get a good bite. Oh, dripping. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, y'all. That's so good. You gotta make this. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you try this recipe.